Welcome back to Saga of Three Kings, session 62, entitled Shadow in the Well. Last session, the group descended through the Sacculum of the Bones, found some strange artifice, looks like remnants of old conglomerate technology, with the intent purpose of creating some sort of strange blue stone, orb stone. The group has seen that on one of the floors a very large accident has occurred, and it appears that volatile substance known as Orbo is spilling out in that specific floor. It does look like there's also containers that were storing Orbo, possibly for removal from the site. In bronze containers, it seems bronze limits the effects of the Orbo, which generates an anti-magic field around the liquid. Um, Based on experimentation, the group noted that Orvo will start to burn off when close to a very powerful magical subject, such as a golem, and in limited instances, it did start to boil off when it was close to Shambles. But Shambles would be powered down. His sentience would basically just terminate, and darkness would basically take over. Um, until he was removed from the material, or the proximity of the material, rather. They have explored down to the depths of the place, and they have found what appears to be a bright blue well of liquid or energy, or some sort of combination between kind of a fire, a liquid, and a gas, just kind of flowing inside of the bottom of this natural cavern, which has a number of pipes connected to it, running through it. Um, the liquid also has white motes that occasionally pop up from the top of it, like little bursts of carbonation, and then the white motes will streak off into nothingness. Um, Besides that, there's a massive magical glyph that's traced out on the ground in front of the well, and it is still glowing, as if the magic that was utilized for that circle is either still active or was only just recently utilized. Um, that said, I cut to you. By this time, Raya has descended and regrouped with Shambles, probably first contact, as Shambles is filling his bag of holding with what appear to be small golden orbs. Just stuff in the bag full of them.
I have one.
That's fair. Um,
Even Stevens, like I said,
Right.
we split it right down the middle.
I assume you took kind of a short rest in the lobby with space before the entrance. There's kind of a, well, not lobby space, but there's a study and a small library. Examination of the books, you realize that all of the books are written in the code that I mentioned. It is not so much a language that can be deciphered as per like a spell, like comprehend languages. There is a actual apparent cipher present that is very difficult to translate through.
I'd steal some part of it, take it back.
Okay. Yeah, you grab a book, one that looks like it is more interesting than others, I guess.
Might be handy later.
For sure. And yeah, I'll just leave it to you. Let me know what you're doing.
Can Grok make sense of the glyph at all?
It's magical in nature. It's glowing with potent energy. It looks like it has a number of different star signs present in it, and the language that it appears to be written in seems to be very, 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 very celestial.
Okay, which I do not speak. Cool.
What you doing, Shambles?
Oh, we're past that. We're much far past that.
Oh,
I'll explain later. Don't worry about it.
So Grok would turn to
I owe you money anyway.
sure you do. I speak Celestial. Would you like me to look at this rune for you, Rock?
well, please.
You're muted.
Gibberish. It looks like
Unmuted?
it's. I'm muted. It looks like it's just gibberish. A bunch of magical markings. Seems like very strange words. You notice a couple that might translate into kind of an elvish sensibility. Um, One of them says Sakestor Sul. Another one says Granfaloon. These appear to be zodiac markers or indications, and you can see that there are a number of different uh, constellations is the word I was going to bounce. I had it right there. You got me.
Sorry, bud.
It's okay. Thank you.
Right
I
there.
appreciate the help. Constellations present inside of the structure of this glyph.
We see the shape, or he sees the shapes, or is it referencing them by name?
Seems that their
That he could recognize.
shapes. He doesn't recognize the names of the ones that seem to be indicated. He does recognize the two that I mentioned: Nallard Sul and I'm sorry, Sexter Sul and Grand Balloon.
Does it seem that there's more than one thing written here? They're kind of merging together.
Yeah, it looks like there's actually several circles present inside of a larger kind of marker. And it does look like the center kind of point looks like it's very much indicative of the seasonal wheel, 4-part wheel that denotes the Witweaven, or the fair women, the daughters of time.
Brooklyn, does your sword speaking to you? Is this the place you need to be?
Sword, if it knows that this is the place.
So you're kind of up at the top. It says, "I feel that it is close," but you're kind of a pretty good distance above it. So the cliff that you're kind of, if you move out towards that cliff space, to that first level that's kind of down the pipes there, that's 100 feet. Down to the next level, it's another like 80 feet. So if you want to do the Rooklyn thing and just jump off, slam into the rock, and then head on over there.
I mean, at this point, it is. I just get on my broom.
Yeah.
It won't kill you. We've done the math. You can't die from a 100-foot fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do want to approach it, then perfectly fine. However you want to. You said you were going to do it with your broomstick?
Yeah, I just get on my broom.
Okay. Just show me your flight path.
I'm gonna watch.
I'll just fly like down this way towards it,
Okay.
going down that and over to here. Not real close, but close enough for the sword to recognize it.
As it gets close enough, kind of like get close to landing near it, the sword, you hear her voice say, "Dip the blade inside of the well."
If his room wasn't dispelled, he didn't crash. I'll go ahead and slide him down the wall.
As you're about to, you hear a voice from the sword kind of to you that says, "I will not die. I will simply be allowed freedom. Haziel allowed me a rebirth." And the voice is different that's speaking this time. It's different than the Haziel. It sounds more like the singer that was in the sword beforehand. "Haziel has granted me the ability to be moved from my original folly and attempt to serve as sentinel, and allowed to pass into the afterlife to serve my God more directly. I thank you, and I thank Haziel for your assistance in helping me through this passage."
I'll still miss you, and then I'll dip the sword in.
The second you do, you can kind of feel it kind of waver. You can see kind of a bit of the colors of it bleed out into the well, and you can feel like a exasperated but kind of like pleasurable kind of sigh from the sentinel within as her soul is taken from you into the well. You then watch a prisma-colored kind of moat rise up from the surface and then streak up skywards. The second you kind of do that, you see that the sword still appears to be functioning as a magical weapon. It just seems to have lost a number of its properties. So Dias Haziel is now just a +2 longsword.
Sorry, man.
Not a terrible loss.
But quest completed.
Yeah, that was very.
Sad. You guys just
That's
see
good.
Rooklyn just tearing up down there, looking over the sword.
Right, you start to descend downwards on the stone as you kind of are making your way. You kind of feel that this stone is very familiar to you. And as you're starting to recognize that the bright whiteness of it becomes more apparent the closer you get to it. You start to realize that the magic of your cloak is starting to peel from that. But you can see that there's a walkway that looks like it's been covered over with kind of like a dark dirt on the tops. You can just drop down if you want to.
Yeah, it was like, I'll book it down to the bottom and tell them that this is the same magic building.
Yeah, the building. It seems that this is the same material that the building is made out of above. Those of you that are looking at above, you would see Raya kind of like very quickly, hastily kind of come down, do a flip, and kind of land onto the soil. Look at the soil like concerned and realize it's safe. But you'd also see that as he kind of flips away from the wall, there's like this streak of magic energy that seems to be pulling after his cloak that kind of breaks, and a large globule of it kind of slams into the cape. It doesn't actually slam with any physical force, it's just magic kind of hitting the cloak. And then a little bit of it kind of remains inside of the stone. But yeah.
Like water hitting a glass of water.
Yeah, or like someone kind of pulling like a mozzarella cheese and like it breaking apart in the middle and like kind of slapping to the two sides.
Yeah,
it's much more like mozzarella cheese.
100%, yeah. Like the perfect pizza commercial.
Yes, like the perfect pizza commercial. That's what we just did.
When you're talking surface tension, you gotta talk about cheese sticks.
Yeah. Talking about viscosity.
I don't want to touch any of that. I'm gonna just fly directly out at the altitude of the cliff top there.
Okay.
And just sort of keep an eye on the sky.
Okay.
Or keep an eye on everything. I'm kind of looking for whoever might have cast that circle if they're still around.
Sure. You would note that the stone seems to kind of grow kind of more pale the closer it kind of gets to the area. But you'd also notice that the material that's on top, you think it might have been laid out, or it's just kind of fallen material that's coming from the cave above. Looking up, it's just kind of regular stone and rock. And yeah, Raya, as you kind of approach the magic circle and approach the well, your eyes are immediately drawn to the center of it. Because as you approach, you see something coming out of the bright whiteness of it. A purple coloration in the center.
Purple's probably good.
Oh, always. Regal.
To you, and only you, it seems to be flaring in the light.
Does it appear to have a form?
It's just kind of a purple light that kind of bleeds against the bright light, and there's something at the center of it. You're not sure what.
I'm going to keep an eye on it, but investigate the circle with a little more detail now that I'm closer to it.
So you're focused on the circle, not the thing in the middle, okay?
No, I'm definitely focused on that thing too, but...
Which one are you more focused on?
50-50. I don't trust the purple thing.
Then I'm going to not give you an investigation or arcana on either, since you're just kind of paying attention to neither, you're paying attention to both.
That's fine. Until I feel like I want to actually tune into one, I'm just going to keep an eye on both.
It's kind of a...
As far as the investigation goes, does this appear to be inscribed into the floor or magically placed here?
It's really hard to tell with it still being luminous. You're not sure.
Is there an obvious way for those of us who can't fly to get down the cliff face?
Looks like there's some pipes on the left side.
Would that require, like, is difficult climbing or what?
Fireman.
I'd say if you take your time. If you want to spend a good, 30 or so minutes climbing down, you can do so safely. If you're in a rush, you can definitely make athletics checks.
I think Brock knows how to work the pole.
Fireman, Batman, straight down.
Yeah. So
Hold the way down there.
Turn to Mirage. Shall we head down?
Question for the DM.
Hmm?
Does an echo take fall damage?
No, echoes basically don't exist substantially. They can't pass through walls or anything, but they don't technically exist. All their speed is flight.
Okay. So when he says after you, Mirage turns to the echo and says, after you! And he pushes the echo off the side. The echo starts falling, and when it gets to about 20 feet in front, Mirage jumps off the edge too. So right when the echo hits the floor, I magically teleport and switch places with him, and I'm now there on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
And then as I teleport and switch places, you see flip, and the normal guy's there. The echo keeps falling, goes, ah!
Wait. No. For lulz, the echo starts falling like a feather and
oh yeah.
and then it kind of lands sexy pose.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Oh man, so wonderful.
A lot of workarounds today. I like that.
But yeah, you Grok are spending some time making your way downtown.
Sure. And if I see anything happening, I could change that real quick and get down fast, but I don't need to right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Shambles, do you kind of stay a good distance away, or are you moving closer to the well?
I want to keep my distance from the well itself. I'm going to kind of skirt around, like, say 10, 15 feet away from the thing.
The second you get within 15 feet of it.
I'm gonna descend a little bit. I'm still kind of eyeing nooks and crannies.
The second you get within 15 feet of it, you feel something kind of enter into you, and you hear this kind of like wailing. It sounds like the combination of a frightened old maid and a bright, bustling new baby boy at the same time. This wailing, and it feels like it's entering into you, so much to the point where you realize that you start to lose motor control. Like you are apparently flailing. Motor control. You are flailing in the air. What would you like to do in response?
I'd like to kind of backpedal, just kick away from the well a little bit. This is what I was afraid of.
As you're pulling away, you feel this like strain to kind of keep you kind of pulled to it. You can kind of go with the tether and go like allow yourself to be pulled towards it, or you can try and sever the tether. Like you feel like you could probably break it. There's this spiritual kind of key energy that seems to be linking to you, and you feel like you could snap that energy in your kind of conscious. Do you want to sever or be pulled?
You know what? I'm gonna humor it. I'm gonna humor it for a minute. I'm gonna let it pull me.
Okay. You start to get dragged in. You feel another one of these consciouses like kind of enter in. Reverse it though. It sounds like a young like baby girl crying, but like mixed with an old man kind of like wailing in agony. These two essences kind of fill you for a moment, and you start to realize that you no longer have motor control, but you still have kind of like a focused conscience that's present. It feels like they're pulling you in closer towards the well. Do you wish to resist it by breaking the tether, or allow it to pull you in?
My attention shifts to the purple dot as he moves closer, and
you see
Mirage moves down.
You see Shambles kind of like slowly kind of floating towards the well like barrier. He hasn't breached like the flame and the liquid yet, but he's kind of making his way towards it.
Yeah, my focus will shift to that as everybody else is moving down.
Okay, back to Shambles. Do you wish to again? You feel like there's a consciousness or two consciousnesses that are present in with you. Do you wish to sever?
Can I try to communicate with the consciousness?
They don't seem to be sentient. Like as you're kind of,
they're just screaming.
They sound like either brand new newborn children or very old dead people, but at the same time.
So I'm just guessing. I'm like interfering with the soul cycle right this second. I'm like an extra receptacle for souls right this second.
If that's what you're thinking, that's what
I'm gonna break off. I'm piecing out of this.
You kind of link into yourself and kind of focus on your wholeness, and you break these two off from you. You feel that once they are broken away, they are still inside of you. As you fall back and away and kind of slam into the ground a distance away, you kind of look to your palm, and you for a second see your lifeline, and it seems to have rescinded in size. And you're kind of looking down at it and thinking about it. You felt those two souls, they didn't like leave you, they didn't exit you. It seems that you didn't push them out of you. You pushed them into other yous.
Mm-hmm. That sucks.
Yeah.
We have some bags to search, fellas.
Well, here's the thing. Let's focus up real quick. You currently have 2 bodies in bags of holdings that are your extra bodies, and then you have 2 scarecrows back at home, or is it 1 scarecrow back at home?
No, I have
3 bodies here.
All 4 bodies are among us.
Okay. Well then, I know where they're at.
Uh-huh.
That's easy enough.
So
you combine up with bodies to make a huge homunculus with all 3 of your consciousnesses in it.
Well, the other 2 aren't mine. I think I abducted a little girl and an old man and put them in robots and or scarecrows.
Just like a Shambles Voltron.
I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't feel morally good about this.
So you have, just to make sure I've got it right, you have the envoy body, the skirmisher body.
Somebody is carrying the envoy.
Yeah.
I believe it was Raya.
Correct. And then you have
I have the skirmisher and the scarecrow in my bag.
And that's it. We only have 3 bodies remaining.
I have 3 bodies.
Okay.
Well, including the one he's in.
Including, or not including...
4 total.
Current shambles, yes.
You lose one?
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and make this simple. Go ahead and roll 2d6. It's actually 2d3, but go ahead and roll me 2d6.
Out of a body? Or is just another scarecrow back to the farm?
No,
I only had 3 spare.
Yeah.
Total.
He's no longer back at the farm anymore. It's all his bodies are in bags.
2d6?
2d6.
Total body.
7.
Okay. Perfect. That just answers for me. I know what's going on in your bag.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of reassuringly pat the bag.
You would know that even if something were in there moving around,
right.
you wouldn't feel it.
Thank God bodies don't have to breathe.
They can't breathe in there. Yeah. I think I have kids.
You're giving birth out of a bag of holding.
Which of the bodies do we have to disassemble to put in bags?
The one I'm in right now. Yeah.
Okay, so whoever's in it is at least in one piece.
So, well, actually, no. The skirmisher would have been taken apart. No. Juggernaut was the only one we had to take apart. Anyway, I'm gonna back way off of the soul well.
Okay.
And announce I have a new and interesting problem.
Right.
You good? You good?
I'm not sure.
Watching all of that happen.
I assume you're a bit more proactive, so you probably would have seen like something happening, something bad, moved over to kind of investigate more closely, and then watched him get spit backwards and land, and then stand over him with the curiosity. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. The thing that you're noticing too, as you kind of get closer, is your sight is kind of altered. This is something that Brooklyn would have noticed as well, but since you were kind of focused on the activity, the glowing energies were kind of just there, and you assumed that they were just there. But all your magic items seem to be glowing with their auras. If there's any magical effects that are currently on you, their auras are prominent. It's as if you were standing in, or looking through a detect magic spell, but it's just happening.
So everybody in here is just glowing like crazy.
Except Grog.
Yeah.
Rude.
I'm sorry, Grog.
Give me that glove.
I can't take it off.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stare harder at the purple thing then.
Okay. As you turn to focus and look at it for a second, you see kind of a glimpse of something, almost like a shadow kind of standing before you. It's kind of like a whoa moment as it's kind of like just disappears. But you're almost certain that you see yourself standing like in the well. But it's not you as you are now. It's you as you were before the reincarnation. And as you focus in on the object, you can see that it is a floating crystal. Probably about the size of, probably about 8 inches long, kind of broken into shards along its side. It looks like it has some metal pieces along the exterior of it that may have once held it in something. And it seems to be just floating aloft over the soul well.
Like right in front of me, or does it seem like it's floating in the center?
Yeah, see where it's kind of purple in the center on the map?
Okay, I didn't know if the crystal was closer. You said the shadow seemed like it popped
The
up.
shadow like appeared in front of you, kind of in between you and the light as you turned to focus on it, and then disappeared when you kind of blinked. Kind of like ooh, it's a scare. But obviously it doesn't work because it's harder to manifest jump scares in a D&D game. Anyways, point of order, it's floating off in the middle of the well.
I'm gonna just stick my hand out toward it.
Okay. Yep. That works about as well as you'd expect.
Yep, that's what I kind of guessed.
They use the force, just.
I'm like,
Mirage and Grok, you kind of descend down at this point. Mirage first, and then Grok on deck. You can see that Shambles seems to have had some issue. It looks like Brooklyn has completed what he was sent here to do. Raya's reaching out towards the center of the well. You do not see a purple light in the center of the well, by the way. The only person who sees the purple is Raya. So keep that in mind. But yeah, then there's a weird magical glyph on the ground that you can investigate. Pipes, what have you.
Brooklyn's gonna look at the glyph. He doesn't know a lot about magic, but he's just gonna kind of like get down and see if he can figure out how it's on there.
Okay. I would say that it smells of kind of like a strange mixture of like ozone and strangely enough, raspberries. It has a very kind of pleasant aroma to it, but also a very kind of strangely vapid kind of aroma to it. The magical glyphs present on here don't make any sense to you. Do you speak Celestial?
No.
Yeah. So you wouldn't even be able to decipher the words that are present. It's just confusing
Smells
stuff.
good though.
That it might.
And then after looking at it, if I see Ryan lift his hand up, I'm like, "What are you looking for? Do you need help? Someone pulling you through this or something?"
I see something. Can I borrow your broom?
Yeah, sure. Just toss the broom over to him.
Okay.
I'm gonna point it out. Send me to the middle here.
Okay. Just command the broom to go that way.
Okay. You are commanding the broom. You're told to send it in a specific direction. It's a decent size, but I mean, he's trying to hit it without being able to see it. So as the broom kind of hits over that way, Jeremy, go ahead and roll me a D100. I've assigned a percentage chance that he actually hits the thing on the nose, and if you roll that or under, then you got it.
55.
You watch as the broom goes a bit low, kind of sails past what you're looking at as you're kind of focusing in. It is.
How low?
I'd say maybe 2 feet low, like he shoots it right underneath it.
Up on the broom.
Huh?
I'll stand up on the broom.
Oh, you're on the broom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hold on. Different thing. I thought you were.
Yeah. He's in control of it. I'm
Got
just
it.
riding.
I thought you were setting the broom to kind of hit
Speed
it.
is an excellent margin of error.
I don't have the
Okay.
command words.
No. So you're moving.
And also, if I fall in, he can recover his broom.
You're moving towards it. The closer you get, the more the broom starts to glow to you. To you outside, again, it just becomes more invisible because it's entering this kind of bright light. As you get closer to the gemstone in the middle, you realize it's just floating there, slowly oscillating in like a 360-degree pattern, and it's well within reach for you to take.
Tell him to stop me here. And I'll just kind of stare at it. Does it seem, I don't know, anything at all?
So you hear a voice come out from the well as you're still moving the broom as commanded, and it sounds just like Jeremy. It just sounds like Jeremy, or not Jeremy. Sounds just like Raya, but it sounds like it's basically being pulled. The voice is being pulled. So it'd be like, "Stop me here."
Okay, when I hear that, I'll stop it.
Okay. And yeah, he's basically invisible to you. So is your broom, because it's bright white at the center. But yeah, it's within reaching distance. You said you grabbed it?
Yeah, I'm going to look at it more closely now that I'm closer to it.
For all intents and purposes, it
metal pieces on
it is exactly what you think it is.
Yeah, I'm going to grab it.
Your hand reaches out. You grab a hold of the crystal. It seems to just fall, like in your hand. Like instead of like floating now, it's like there's weight, and you kind of pull it over, and you have it in your hand. Nothing special or crazy. There's no boulder rolling down steps or anything. No tricks, no traps. You don't have to replace it with an equally weighted like bag of gold balls or anything. You just take the shard and you have it in your hand.
Does he get a new daughter, and does that daughter get a new grandfather? I'm real worried about what's happening.
Let's cut over to you. So you open the bag. You reach into the bag. You're gonna
I'm gonna start.
Of the three, which is the first one you think to pull out?
Raya has the other. Raya has the
Yeah,
envoy.
that's-
I'm going to reach in for the scarecrow. That's the easiest to manage for
You
me.
pull out the scarecrow. The scarecrow is limp. It's not active. It's as you remember it. It is a scarecrow.
Good. Standard. Bog standard. So, well, this second one's a guarantee since it was 2 out of 3. Let's check on the skirmisher.
Skirmisher was not disassembled.
Correct.
You pull it out, and as it kind of like hits the ground, and you can see that it's kind of moving a bit. Its eyes are kind of like blinking, and it seems to be kind of twitching and convulsing on the ground.
That's sad. I'm gonna kneel over it and sort of
Blow over.
I'm gonna kind of position it in the recovery position, right up on its side.
You can kind of see this is happening. Do you want to try and figure out what might be kind of happening with this situation, or?
You gotta help him.
It's well above my pay grade.
Grok, that's a no.
I mean, I don't know. So what exactly do I see?
You see me pulling a robot out of my backpack, and it's kind of like sickly and moving, and I'm trying to aid it into the recovery position.
I mean, I would certainly go over and help as the healer of the group. I'm not sure I could do any real help, but I mean, that's what I'll do.
You have 3 options. You can go ahead and make an Arcana check, a Medicine check, or a Religion check. Your choice. The results will be different depending on what you choose.
If I may, before he goes,
Yeah.
since I'm already trying to like secure this thing, may I do some medicine? May I attempt any kind of medicine?
So what I will say is, because you're kind of, not sure what's going on, you have an idea of what's going on, and it's kind of horrifying. If he elects the medicine action...
I've got some trauma.
If he elects the medicine action, I will allow you to help.
Very well.
I'm not going to elect medicine because I'm so bad at it.
That's okay.
We're going to do Arcana instead.
Make an Arcana check.
And we rolled a 23.
So this is what you are basically paying attention to. You were climbing down, but then walking all the way around the outside and coming up this way. So you've been kind of watching from a distance as everything beat for beat has been happening. You watched as Shambles moved close to the well. Looks like 2 motes entered into his body, and then he sprung away from that, hitting the ground, and 2 motes kind of faded away from him. You then watch as he pulls the skirmisher body out, and it seems to be moving with some semblance. With that Arcana check, you would know that you are at the Well of Souls, which is a well of unborn souls. So a soul that was basically reincarnated through the Wheel of Emirnian has entered into this body. The problem with that is it didn't go through the proper channels. So that's not a real soul that's in there. That's not something that's going to be able to take on sentience. That's basically a stillborn robot.
So I get the sense that the robot is just not going to function now because it's...
You can see the light in its eyes is fading. That is a slowly dying skirmisher automaton, undaunted.
Is there anything I could do about that?
No, not in the moments that are passing. I will allow for a disadvantage medicine check from Shambles as you start to see that it is kind of fading away, for you to attempt something here.
Disadvantage medicine.
Mm-hmm.
11.
Okay. You are looking at it and are not sure what's going on. Grok is kind of behind you, kind of like studiously, kind of holding his big turtle chin, kind of looking down at the situation very like nervously, and you realize that it's falling limp and it passes. You have this urge to look back at your hand. The lifeline remains at its distance, like the size that it remained at when the 2 souls kind of broke off from you, and went into presumably the other bodies. What you would know that basically denotes is that this is no longer a chassis that's viable for you.
Bummer.
If we get the time and he would reinstall in that
It basically
one,
counts as a death for him, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I can't snap into this one.
Right.
I lost it. Huh?
Rebuild the tether either?
Not as far as I know. I don't
No,
think
he
so.
doesn't get to get actually. If he finds a red mushroom or a green mushroom, he can potentially. I said the wrong number. I said the wrong one. It's the wrong mushroom. But yeah, very strange.
Well, that was really sad to see, and I really just bummer fucking news for Riot when she's out of there.
Man, there's a lot of bummers happening right now.
Yeah.
For Rooklyn, for Shambles.
The strange one is if Raya's got a broken up Juggernaut unit, a broken up Skirmisher unit, and that's where it went. It's probably not too terribly likely that the body would even have gone to that. So it might be a situation where the soul was just shunted and isn't going to live. And it could be a prospect for you to realize if you die and you get put into the skirmish or the skirmisher while it's broken up, that's basically going to kill you too. But Raya, you have the shard and you fly back.
Brooklyn calls me.
You-
Not the last part. Dude, pull
Me back. If you've ever seen Star Trek: The Motion Picture, it's a lot like when they're having that weird wormhole experience. That's exactly what it's
time
like.
it was violated over here.
Yes.
I'll pull him back the moment I hear the
Okay.
beginning of pull.
Yep.
45 minutes later.
Yeah. You actually hear yourself because he pulls you out before you finish your sentence, but you finish your sentence while you're in there. So you're hearing yourself outside yelling from inside as you're pulled out.
Fucking weird. My voice. Worst nightmare.
Okay.
What'd you get?
Did you get what you went in there for, I guess?
You didn't say you're fighting it or anything when you came out, so you're holding it in your hand.
Yeah, I'm holding it.
What is that?
It is a purple shard of crystal that appears to have kind of small, kind of like a link around it with chains kind of like hanging from it. There's markings on the shackle that's holding it that appear to be infernal. And the shard itself is kind of a purplish coloration that, when kind of caught in the soulwell light, seems to kind of glow with this strange kind of arcana.
If we've got the time, guys, I'm gonna cast Identify on this and just sit in a corner.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot.
Can you do that to this glove that I'm wearing as well?
Later, yes.
Okay.
But especially here, since everything glows extra anyway, seems like a good place to check things out.
Okay. So you're spending 10 minutes casting, or you cast it as a... You don't cast it as a ritual, do you?
No, it'd be an actual spell.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, no, you're Arcana Cleric. Yeah, you can cast it as a ritual. Because clerics get ritual casting.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Just take
Alright,
10 minutes
yeah.
and don't use a slot.
Yeah. I would say that you probably picked up a pearl in recent history. That's fine. When you cast Identify on it, nothing happens. There's no identification to this object. You remember, having traveled with Benson for some time, some objects are identifiable, some objects are not identifiable because they require a more potent spell known as Legend Lore to be able to learn more about it as the magic is deeper and older.
Got it. Then, yeah, I'm just gonna put this away.
Does anybody who saw him with a shard in hand read Infernal, Abyssal, or any kind of infernal language?
Let me double check.
It's probably no. Perfectly
I've got
fine.
Deep and Draconic.
No, yeah, you can't read it either.
Elvish, or-
Yeah, but it's definitely a hellish language that was written on the shard that he's putting in his bag now. After,
Could he read it if he had comprehend
Elvish.
languages?
if you want to cast that, you can.
He's just asking if it's possible.
Yeah, just
If
What
you're
if we had 10 million?
I don't have that either.
so really quick note for you, Jeremy. You know what it says, even though you can't read it. Do you know what it says?
Kind of, I think.
Do you want to say it out loud, or are you keeping it to yourself?
You would say something het on it.
No.
No?
It says what it is.
Oh, okay. Like sleepy time, fun times?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put this away.
All right.
Ooh.
Being connected to Lamac, you would know that immediately upon touching it, you attuned to it. Are you attuned to 3 items already?
Yes.
Name them.
Helmoth Dagger. What are the other ones?
the
Helmoth.
Your
Yeah, my
cloak?
cloak, Helmoth Dagger, and
Your boots?
your ring of
Oh,
nourishment.
how do you fly?
yeah, Ring of Symbol. I don't.
He
know.
doesn't play. You got broom.
Rejuvenation.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d6. It's a d3.
Three.
So that would be the cloak. You are no longer attuned to the cloak.
Shit. Okay.
Thanks for bringing us here, Brooklyn. A laugh and a half down here.
It's a party, man. A sad party.
I can't climb things anymore. Not without effort.
Hey, Grok gets a magic item.
No, you don't.
Oh, you're not gonna give it to me? That's
Give me that
wrong.
cloak.
Dude, you know how many other magic items I'm carrying that require attunement? Because it's like 3. I could have given you one ages ago. I gave you my belt, alright?
You got the belt.
Oh, I have a belt.
It's a belt.
I do have a belt of dwarven kind of. I can speak dwarvish.
There you go.
Also, no, you got a ton of hit points out of that thing too. You're immune
Yeah,
to
it's
disease.
true. Yeah.
Resistant to disease.
You can't
And you
really
can grow a
knocked
beard,
over,
right? Wasn't
and-
that a thing?
Yeah, except that you
Except he can't.
can't grow a beard because you can't grow a beard, yeah.
Oh.
So,
sad.
query for the rest of you. Should we bury this, skirmisher? I'm a little tore up right now.
Well,
I'll help you bury it.
Sorry, the envoy. The envoy was the one that you pulled out of the bag. The skirmisher is the
Skirmisher I
one.
pulled out.
No, I have the
Envoy Raya has.
Envoy wasn't the one you broke up. Envoy's the light one.
Right. No, I'm
None of
carrying
them-
the envoy. The
None of the
Juggernaut's the
ones
only
in
one that
bags.
both required to be broken up.
Oh, okay. Got it.
None
So
of the ones in bags are broken up.
then that's a different story as to what's going on in Raya's bag than
There's
what
a
I thought.
living person in my bag.
Okay.
It's in my living person. In
You
my bag.
pull the skirmisher out, it
No,
died.
Until he tells me.
No,
Yes.
no, I'm saying
In the
past
bag,
tense.
Shambles did pull
Oh,
out
okay, yeah.
skirmisher, yes. Raya has the
envoy is
envoy
still in
skill.
my bag.
Correct.
Oh,
Did
Last
Rocky
try to
mention?
identify the globe?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, whenever Ryan gets a chance, I'm asking him to identify the globe, even though it's still on me. If he can might identify me too. Who knows?
Yeah, we got the time. I mean, why not? It's kind of just a cool place to hang out down here.
Okay.
If
So
we've got 10 more minutes, yeah, I'll look at that. then.
yeah, if you identify the glove, with identify, you're able to notice 2 things, and this seems to have a similar processy of the shard. The 2 things that you're able to identify with it is a wondrous item known as porcelain glove, and that's all you get from the identify spell regarding its name and its property being it requires attunement, and once attuned cannot be taken off and cannot be broken of attunement. The only way to remove attunement from the creature is if the creature dies.
Oh, we're good at
That's
killing
commitment.
And you would note with that identify spell that that is a curse.
people.
The item is cursed.
Oh fudge.
The glove of toilet
find
flushing.
somebody who knows about curses, and we got Big Bang Boom.
Just gotta get it legend. lore,
Meanwhile,
you know?
I just suffered an abortion. Everybody moving right along.
It was a miscarriage.
Yeah, you're right. You are right.
Ryav mentioned anything
Content
about
warning.
the runes on the ground, like because you knew that language.
I told you everything I knew about the constellations and stuff.
Do I know anything about? So do I know anything about Sextor Sul?
Yeah, Sextor Sul is known as the Bright Star. He is the 13th zodiac on the light zodiac of the Elvish pantheon. All zodiacs are actually Elvish zodiacs. It's just that they're reinterpreted differently. So whereas you'd have the keep represented as the keep in Osiria, it's referred to as the Bastion, actually more purely. And I believe Grand Floon was the other one, and happens to be the keep. But
So
yeah.
it's not like this. This is not like an evil kind of thing. That seems like it's a more positive god from the pantheon, right?
So what you're looking at is basically a tyrical circle. In the center of the circle, you have seasonals, and it looks like the primary circle outside of that is drawn at a conflux between spring and summer. Okay, that happens to be the Nallard Sul symbol, and then it looks like there's a circle that kind of bends off to the right, and that is the keep symbol, which is that kind of like symbol off on its own. And it looks like the rest of the star mapping and kind of magic arcane energies on the exterior are kind of denoting this star path. If you'd like to make an Arcana check to try and make heads or tails of it, you can.
I
a
definitely
star
would.
Would that have anything to do with like the maps that we found upstairs?
There does seem to be elements from those maps present here, specifically the constellations.
20.
Arcana-wise, you would note that based on its glowing and based on its structure, this is a conjuration circle. Conjuration can be used to either bring things here or move things from here to elsewhere.
Okay. And this pattern, would that indicate where it came from or where it went to?
With a 20, I'm giving you no more than I've given you.
Gotcha.
Does it appear to map anything in the real world, or is it only a star map?
Based on what you've got and what Grok's able to elucidate, it is just star mapping and a strange conjuration. Either of summoning or teleportation, like exiting this place or coming to this place.
Like someone
Might
stealing
step
these
in
souls and putting them into bodies somewhere else?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it's permanent, though. I mean, like, it definitely doesn't look like it's permanent because you're now investigating it a bit more. You would notice that there is clear salt lines that have been drawn out, and those are the things that are glowing. Someone formed this circle recently.
Well, my current assumption for everybody here is that since the conglomerate is what was upstairs and they like their robots, they're stealing these souls and sending them into bodies.
So we
And I
should
think
probably
we should
stop
destroy
that.
the circle.
How do we destroy the circle?
Well, if it's done in salt, we can just
Kick it.
can you,
Kick
yeah,
it,
can you
alright.
mess it up?
Yeah, so you start kicking the salt around. The magical auras seem to remain, and they don't seem to be fading. It looks like they're empowered. The magical glyphs are empowered by its proximity to the soul well.
That sucks.
Well, they said these things can be destroyed. How do you crush a soul well?
Maybe if we had that
Empty it?
anti-magic goop.
No, just like the histories and the stories. They said people could be using these and they're all been dried up. Does anybody remember the history?
I don't know. Desk with Mac?
Yeah, I'm
We
I'm
don't
up
have
for
it.
it. I'm up
We
for
don't
it.
have a super desk anymore.
I mean, you can definitely make an Arcana check, but even with just being trained in it, both Gronk and Raya would note that the idea granted by Rooklyn, while we throw the green goop in it, wasn't a bad one.
Would that destroy the circle or would that destroy the well?
Destroys all magic.
Right. Negative to magic.
Is it bad
They
to
also said
destroy
it-
souls? Because I feel bad about what happened just now.
They said someone's already been drying them all up. But is this something magical or is this a source of magic?
Both? Either? Yes?
Okay. Then the green stuff could just burn up wherever you make contact.
Yeah. Might need a lot more of it than you're thinking initially.
I don't know. And they got bombs.
If you want to... I don't think anybody has bombs.
Blow up the
try
tower
and
on top
fight.
and sink it inside.
Cave in.
Could do.
There is that big spill, and there's all these pipes. But I think the pipes are just drawing souls out. Are they making the... What's it called? Orvo? Are they making that out of souls? Was that the idea?
I think it's a side effect of what they're actually trying
It's
to
a
make.
byproduct of the creation of Vitae.
Well, they were also making the gold orbs, which were a failed attempt at blue orbs. Are those like soul stones? Are those soul orbs?
We've been down here for a couple of hours. A couple of long rests have kind of taken place. Do you want to go back upstairs and check on the blue orb that was being manufactured? Or...
Yeah, I might as well. I got no interest in this room.
Okay. When you go up into that room, the lightning is stopped, and it does look like there's kind of like a green or a red indicator on the indicator tracker bar. Like it's kind of slotted perfectly in the middle, and the red indicator seems to denote that it's no longer processing. It's no longer moving. What do you do in there? Do you want to open it up?
I'll go ahead and slide open the
Yep.
shutters. And
You
take a look
see
again.
a perfectly spherical blue orb that seems to be emanating kind of like a light glow not too dissimilar from the soul well. And
Being the one that opened it, I don't have any adverse effect of being that close to it.
yeah,
I'll give everyone a thumbs up and I'll grab the thing.
What
Okay.
is that? This is
I
first
don't-
for me.
I don't know, really. They put a lot of time and effort into making this thing, so I want to figure it out myself.
What is it?
Blue?
it's a blue orb.
Blue orb is all we know. Okay.
Mirage, you make anything of this? You've been passing by unaffected lately.
Means nothing to me.
Am I still? Do I still have to be attuned to my sword since it's just a +2 longsword now? Or no?
It doesn't require attunement.
Okay. No.
Well, I guess we'll take this with us.
Yeah, I mean, if they were trying to make it so vigorously, then
They had the room that had the slots for the orbs under the black ink well thing.
Mm-hmm.
Were those orbs intended for this blue orb? Were
So-
those slots intended for the blue orb?
We're
Am
ta-
I led to believe?
We're talking about the level directly above this one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and move us to it. And I'm going to clear the dynamic lighting.
Find my way back to it. It was adjacent to the cold room trap. Not here.
Right. So it's directly north. I'm going to go ahead, like I said, clear the... I'm going to try to. Bear with me here. There it goes. So you should be able to see the whole map now. Pay no attention to stuff you haven't seen, and it's all. I will denote that it's already barred from you because of your failure with the doors. So don't worry about it.
You guys screwed up a door.
It was a success with the door.
Fair
Don't
enough.
let him asleep.
There are a total of 4 slots. There are 2 levers on the left side and an indicator, which is currently off. It doesn't seem like to have any light or anything whatsoever.
I guess I'll sock it in that blue orb I found.
Okay. The second you do, you see the indicator turn on. You hear kind of a whirring throughout the 2 panels, and you see the indicator move up to what appears to be 1/4. And there are 2 levers, which now have lights kind of brightly kind of shining on them. Looks like there's 2 coded words that are present, but as you kind of look at them, one appears to be 2 letters and one appears to be 3 letters. You're not sure what those are.
Are the first letters of both of them identical?
They are not, because they're in 2 different
Damn it.
languages.
Well, my on-off theory is way off.
I think it's pretty accurate still. Just he's trying to trick you. Am I here?
Mm-hmm. If you want to be.
Where? I don't see my.
Oh, I probably don't have a token down for you,
Okay.
because you weren't here last time. Should be on there now.
What language are they written in?
Hold on. So it looks like the only letter that you would be able to decipher is there's an F on one of them, the 3-letter one. That's in deep speech.
They wrote one letter and like deep speech and not the other 2.
Correct.
Neat. In Elvish, Dwarven, Draconic, Celestial. None of those help.
orc.
Who are these people?
You said orc?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's an O that's in orcish on the 2-letter word. It's the first letter.
This is fun. We're gonna
Yep,
get
yep.
this
What other languages we got, boys? Let's go.
guy.
Definitely something written in turtle there, right?
No.
Definitely some turtle. No. Damn it.
They are
I was about to
celebrated
be
engineers.
useful.
None of the other 3 languages that you haven't caught on to are amongst you.
Trees can't.
No.
Damn.
Or do you mean
should I
thieves can't
flip
read
this?
the 3 letters? Got him. He's a thief. But yeah, currently blue. The indicator denotes what appears to be a
not.
quarter powered up, and there are 2 switches. One with an F in the middle of it, and one with an O at the beginning of it.
Looks like we need to find 3 more.
You guys really are just not pulling your weight in the language. Wish
Hey,
I'd done
I got the F. All right.
some- Okay, you're excluded from that comment. I think Shambles could read 1 O also.
I don't remember. I don't think I speak Dwarvish anymore. I think I lost that with the envoy body.
No, there was
Anyway.
no Dwarvish. There's Orc and Deep Speech are the only 2 languages you got.
Yeah, I can't speak either.
To satisfy your curiosity, another of the languages is Yuan-Ti, another of the languages is Vampiric, and another of the languages is Meridian. Does anybody speak any of those? Didn't think so.
I was not aware that vampires had their own.
They have their own language.
I need to be one of those now.
Ants?
So there are 2 words,
Yes.
and we can you just tell us what
I'm
are,
gonna
what
guess
are
on off.
the number of
Yeah,
letters?
that's what I would say.
There's
2 and 3. 2 in the first
two
one,
and
3
3,
on the second one.
and where's the O and where's the F?
The O's at the beginning of the 2-letter word. The F's in the middle of the 3-letter word.
John screwed up and said that both
Okay.
words start with the same letter.
They do. But you don't know that.
I'm gonna flip. If nobody's stopping me,
Hell no.
I
You're
found it.
Get
I
it?
found
Are you
the
trying to get
orb.
percent off?
I've had a rough time so far, and I'm looking for a smile. I think I'm gonna find it behind that on switch. 2-letter switch. I'm flipping it.
Okay. The on switch hits. You hear a very loud humming. All the pipes behind you start to kind of shake a bit, and it feels like
Okay.
you're kind of sitting inside of like an energized place. It shows that the indicator, the 25%, is slowly kind of moving towards 0, and you can see that the orb's energy is kind of pulsing inside of it.
I'm gonna run down to the well and take a look.
Nothing different.
We just kill another guy.
I hope not. Don't need that on the conscience. I kill people that are finished.
Once you get back up, it's already dropped 1%, so we're at 24%.
Fucking scatter. Look for changes. I'm gonna go look at
Change a lot. I've never been here before.
You walked through.
If you spend some time kind of moving around, what you'll note is that it doesn't appear to be any of the sub-levels. And if anybody goes up to the first floor, the ground floor, you would notice that the red buttons, the 6 and 6, are brightly lit up at current.
Wait, what again?
So in the very first room, see if I can make you go there.
Oh, the control room. Okay.
Yep. The red light displays are currently brightly lit. The red buttons, the 6 and 6.
Get it, Shambles. You got the speed.
You want me to just start hitting buttons?
Oh yeah, wing it.
I don't know. I
Right
don't
now.
know what this thing does.
I'm 100% assuming you are by yourself.
I don't think
Okay.
we're gonna keep up with you. So.
Okay.
There are 6 on the left, 6 on the right, big wheel in the middle.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're in the wrong place.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna hit the 4th one on the left, the 1st one on the right, and I'm gonna give that wheel a turn.
When you press the button just drops down. A portion of the button remains up. It's now a dial.
Alright, I'm gonna give that a quarter turn. That
Okay.
dial.
It seems to continue on its own, of its own accord, and kind of lock into place. You hear kind of a loud,
Everybody brace for impact.
you hear kind of a loud popping click, and you hear this sound kind of generating in the center.
In the center of the room where I am.
That big column that goes
That column?
upwards. Yeah. If you look upwards,
I'm gonna take a quick step outside and look up at the observatory.
the what you would consider a telescope appears to have grown kind of spines out of the top of it, and it looks like it's more of some sort of weird arcane cannon.
Hmm.
Dope.
So, 2 things you would also notice as you stand outside looking at that. That conglomerate ship appears to have grown closer. It's not really close. Like, oh my god, they're going to drop on us.
Is
But
it
it's
in range?
relatively close.
I've got this.
Hard to port.
I'm going to try to get a feel for these controls here.
You rush back in.
I'm running back inside.
Okay.
I'm hitting that
Dial it in.
first button on the left and the fourth button on the right.
The first button on the left, when you hit it, you hear a loud like twist and pop as the fourth button pops up, and then you kind of hit that button down, and it's the same situation. It's got a dial now. Seems like only
Three-quarter turn.
and it immediately folds all the way to the side and locks into place. It seems like only one button can be indicated, or locked down at a time.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Looking at it, it does appear that there might be some kind of sequence that needs to be performed.
Got it. Oh, I am not smart enough for this.
Raya, I assume you're there.
I'm calling out.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, we finally made it.
Mirage, yeah, I mean, if they're yelling down after you, it's up here, this is the thing. You're all up there, that's fine. If you'd like to make an Arcana check, or if you'd like to make a...
100%. I want to check everything about this.
I would say...
I have Mirage, Brock,
Shambles,
Rooklyn. You're all tied for
Wyatt.
second place of the smartest person I know.
I would say if you're making an Arcana check and you have Navigator's tools as a trained tool set, you can make that with twice your proficiency.
I do not. Are there any other checks available, or is it Arcana?
Just Arcana.
Okay. I will burn an inspiration for the 23.
Okay. So pretty simple sequence. The first button needs to be hit, then the second buttons need to be hit, and then the third buttons need to be hit. But you can only do it on one side or the other. You do notice that there is a very faint kind of etching on the bronze near the column, and on the left side it appears to state creature, and on the right side it says object.
If he says that out loud, I'm like, creature sounds cooler.
Yeah, but we're going to shoot
Oh,
down
we
a
want to
sky
aim for
ship,
an object.
which is an object.
Come on, guys, creature.
Shambles, you might want to fly up there and eyeball this bad boy.
I'm gonna keep sort of toward the doorway and keep an eye on where we're aiming and where that ship
Fly up
is.
to the top and put yourself above the barrel.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds awesome. Why
So
don't I
you
get
can
right
fight
up
it
into
for
the
us
cannon?
and get out of the way.
Why don't I get right into the cannon? How about that?
Launch me at him.
I practically died today. Somebody.
Okay. So, what's the plan?
I need a full crew up here. Rock, hustle your ass up the stairs.
If there's one thing
All
I
right,
know how to
all
do,
right, all right. Double time.
we can then.
Get engineering on
really-
the horn.
Brooklyn just really wants creature. It sounds cooler.
Instant Chekhov's on his way.
So,
I'm assuming object, and I'm going to try to shoot that sky
So
ship.
Shambles up top, Raya setting the sequence. You press the first button, drop it down, turn, press the next button on the left, in the middle, locking each in turn. You assume that somebody practiced at this could probably do it relatively quick. And then you kind of look up to Shambles, and it's kind of pointing off. It's not exactly to the right direction. The wheel in the middle is probably for that.
Flags.
So you
Yeah.
spin the wheel to the left or to the right.
Left.
Okay, so it seems to be not exactly what you anticipated. As you spin it left, for you, Shambles, you watch as the column spins to the right. It seems to be anti-sequential. So as you kind of communicate up and down, you manage to get it right. And if you would like to try and aim it, it sounds like that's what the plan is.
Yeah.
You'll need a third person in the mix, because the barrel shifting heights seems to be controlled by the panel that Shambles was initially at. The levers there are what turn it in its socketing.
Okay, I'll go
Oh,
over
the
there.
lever
then.
crunk.
So we have 3 people. And the current situation is Rooklyn on the final straw, Raya in the middle, and Shambles as the targeting relayer. So what I need from Rooklyn...
Hold on, Brooklyn. Are you comfortable pulling the trigger that could kill however many people are on that ship? Because you actually have a conscience.
He is actually the one at the lever too.
That's why
He
I'm
has a vengeance thing
you're
going.
at the trigger.
That is fair. If Mirage is more comfortable doing it, then go
Mirage
ahead.
did get beat up and tied to a bed for a while.
Yeah,
But
by the conglomerate.
I'll blow him up.
Alright, yeah, but Mirage, tell me.
No, he's almost got a little
Cousin
smack
at the
smile on
dial.
his face, like, I'll blow him up.
Pushes Grok out of the way. Okay, so
Which rock do we have today?
is it killer murder Grok or is it factual peaceful Grok?
set it on fire.
So Mirage, if you're the one that's holding down the final shot, and Raya, you're the one that's kind of the intermediary in between trigger pull and the last of it. What I need are it's going to be a total of 2 rolls for the 2 of you. Okay.
Do we have any idea what kind of cannon this is going to be? Is it going to be like a slow-moving projectile or like a laser?
No
I'm
idea.
out of character, I'm assuming some kind of magical laser fueled by souls of the damned. So, we got one shot at this,
Not
I
souls,
guess.
not souls of the
wanna know-
damned. Souls of unborn nature. Souls that have not.
I need a win, and I need to feel better about what I did down there.
You are literally. Never mind. Anyways, cutting to the
I
point.
I
Do we
damned
need to,
them.
account for gravity and like the Coriolis effect? Do we need to lead this?
Shambles, you're up top. I need 2 rolls from you. I need a persuasion roll, which will relay downwards how well you're relaying the information, and I need a perception roll to see how perfect you're scoping out to drop that information downwards.
Counter up.
Could I help him with the perception since I'm up there with him?
You're not flying outside of the box, are you?
No.
That's what he's doing. So
I'm up above the cannon. Counter offer. Performance to relay the
No.
information. Damn it. Alright, get this bad one out of the way. 10.
okay.
And perception,
Uh huh.
25.
So it's good information. It's just really poorly worded. Okay. Down below, Raya, you're the middle individual, so you only actually have to make 1 check. No, sorry, 2 checks. Insight to understand what Shambles is saying,
Uh-oh.
and then persuasion to explain that to Rooklyn.
Okay.
Oh god, we're gonna blow up Bluegate.
Okay.
So basically, that's just like
17.
that's like telephone. You get the wrong information and you relay that perfectly.
100%.
Monkey dishwasher.
Okay. Last but not least, not Rooklyn, sorry. Mirage. So Mirage, insight check to understand the information that's coming from above and coming from below, to kind of gather that information, and then an Arcana check to see if you can modulate how the device is going to finally aim. Because again, you are the levers on the left are operating how the cannon moves in its own socketing. So yeah, give me an Arcana check and give me a insight check.
Hit or miss? I feel like we need to be ready to get out of here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna burn inspiration to get that 19.
Okay. So 17 and a 19. Okay, let me do some math real quick.
Oh, gee.
Man, creature would have been great.
I'm
We
hoping
could've got a
you
puppy,
both
guys.
misunderstand each other and it cancels out the initial.
That's funny as hell. So, yeah, that's
You nailed it. We took out the engine. The whole thing's going down.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so Shambles, you feel like it's correct, and you're yelling
That's how
down.
we do.
You're obviously yelling down. I think it's right. I think it's right. It's right there. Go with it. And then the lever gets pulled. Shambles, you watch as the cannon basically manifests a massive blue energy in its kind of core for a second, and then shoots off. It definitely looks like it's probably weaker than it could be, like based on its barrel size, and it looks like it's still jutting out towards that vessel. It hits. You watch as it scrapes through the front of the hull and kind of blasts a large hole in it. So much to the point, because it's kind of like low sun kind of coming down, you can actually see the sun beaming through the hull of the ship. The very next second, what you see happen is as the ship slowly starts to descend, it vanishes.
You know what?
As if by
Calling it a win.
some other source caused it to vanish.
I've heard tale of this, but you know what? We got the first shot off. How are those guys?
Boys, it's time to move.
All of the
Round of beers.
all of the indicator switches that you were playing with, Raya, just kind of all pop up like whack-a-moles, and everything kind of goes dim again.
Yeah, I feel like we need to not be here anymore.
Okay. All right, so you're heading out.
Somebody's pissed at us.
Okay, so Mirage, you are aware that they are going to be heading towards the city of Bellum. You're not terribly interested in going there, but if forced to, you suppose. But you definitely don't want to engage with a lot that's present. That said, it's a long way between there and there, so you might as well just adventure with these guys as they're doing it. You exit out of the Sacculum of Bones and probably descend the mountain relatively hastily, and make your way to Agios again. Agios is a hopefully startup town. It's gonna be real nice. It's gonna be so great. It's right there on the Iron Road. It's gonna be so cool.
Smiling faces.
A lot of smiling faces. They feel like they're in it to win it. It's basically people, throwing a whole bunch of money towards something that they think's gonna work out.
Real quick, we have never heard of a Sacculum of Bones, nor have we ever been to one.
Actually, don't I have to relay the information back to those other people?
You're going in the wrong direction for that.
Well, if
They'll
we get
find
someone
out.
that has sending, then I'll just send it back to them.
Wait for Benson to call you. He can deliver you.
Yeah. If Benson just worries about us, I'll be like, oh, by the way, Benson, can you
Well,
go by this place a little bit?
Current canon, Benson has contacted Shambles to get updates on locations. It's not insane like like crazy.
Occasional message.
Like a daily.
Yeah.
Where are you headed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where you at right now?
Everybody's safe.
You can pass information.
Right. Exactly right. But Agios is well within time for you to travel to. You did spend a whole night there in the Sacculum, and then you spent.
No, we didn't.
You took a
We
long
were never
rest.
there. We were never there.
Okay, keeping to the mind of canonicity, you have wasted an entire day, and it's probably mid-morning at this point. So you're arriving in Agios again. You would know that the next closest place, based on talk and discussion in Agios, is a rest stop called the Beefy Bahir, which is on the north shore, or I'm sorry, on the western shore or eastern shore of Blackheart Lake. It is a rest stop, tavern, and inn.
That sounds like a nice change of pace. Let's go there.
Yeah, if you were to take the road and make your way out that way, it would probably take you the remainder of the day, and you'd be arriving pretty late at the Beefy Bahir.
Sounds great.
Okay. Go ahead and give me 1, 2, 3, 4 D20 rolls. Whoever wants to be the representative for random encounters.
Go, Zach, go.
New Zach.
I got it.
Rookie
you
did it.
guys.
Sorry. I'm
We had a
jumping
guest star.
the gun.
Good rolls.
Sorry.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, so it's a pretty uneventful trip. You make your way with little problem following the road. You finally make it to the ridge that kind of looks down upon where the rest stop is. I would say that Raya, you're familiar with the Beefy Pad here. It's pretty notable. It's kind of a wall. It's got a fortification. Like there's a structure to it, and it's a pretty defensible little tavern and inn. It also doubles as a rest stop point for like Fighters Guild members between Benish and the capital and Bellum.
Shambles would be pretty knowledgeable about it too, then, right?
Well, not really, because he doesn't remember all of those things.
Okay.
But what you do notice from this distance is it looks like the door has been broken in. The gates have been knocked down. The stables have been left open. And there do look like there are bodies in the courtyard on the exterior of the building.
Any noticeable markings in the damage?
No, not really.
Especially based on the region that we're in, it doesn't appear to be hordes or.
Not from this
dragons.
distance. You'd have to kind of close in and get into the site to check it out.
I'll point out the damage and we'll approach with more caution.
Okay.
Everybody at the ready.
And this is going to be a pretty simple kind of surveilling the aftermath, so there aren't going to be dynamic lighting or anything. I'm just going to put you on the map. Give me a second here.
Sounds like we're not going to have to pay for a room, boys.
also not going to look for people, but
Too much time with Grok.
What?
That ping was accidental. But yeah, you would see that the gates kind of leading into the front entryway are broken down. It looks like the dark wood door with oak wood markings has been knocked in. It looks like there was a skirmish in the long hall. Looks like quite a skirmish. Arrow fire, swords still lying on the ground. No bodies that are visible here. And yeah, it looks like the courtyard entrance, which is kind of like a large open kind of keystone portal, which does also have doors. Those doors have been broken away, and inside of those doors you can see that the river is running red with blood, and there are a couple of bodies still kind of laying out in the courtyard. Yeah, everything you can see is what you can see.
Well, I guess I'll go have a look at the bodies and see what did them in.
While you
I
just,
don't think they're gonna fit you.
while you think about what you're going to be exploring, I'm just gonna let my cat in real quick. Hold on.
Dibs out over here, I guess.
Should we travel in pairs or at least maintain sightline?
I say we do pairs. I'll go with Shambles.
Okay, so
You, Velma, and Scooby, take out yours.
Shambles, you said you were going to check the bodies and see what might have killed
Yeah,
them.
I'm going with them as well.
Great.
They're like pairs.
Mirage, anything in particular you're investigating here?
I guess I'll start checking out the long hallway in that building in front of it.
I'd go with him.
Same.
Oh, I've got a pair. And you see an echo pop up next to him.
Body
We all-
system.
Ouch.
Everyone but Shambles has a pair.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty fun joke that you could only just make recently.
So, you would note, okay, so Mirage, you're going into the long hall, so is Raya. We'll deal with the bodies on the outside. It looks like there are, the people that are dead present here, look like they are the people who work here. You've got Stablehand kind of dead right there near Rooklyn. Looks like there is the couple of servers kind of on the bridge kind of north of there that are dead. This stream that kind of runs through was probably their main source of water, and as you can see, as the stream continues southward, it's still got their blood in it. Based on that, it looks relatively fresh. If you'd like to make a medicine check, you can kind of try and ferret out how long ago this might have happened.
Medicine for that? Oh.
Well, Grok, you're inside. Stop trying to do stuff that you're not present. Shambles,
13.
it's definitely within a 6 day. They're fresh enough that they have died in the last couple of days.
What kind of wounds were they?
Look like cutting wounds. No weaponry besides slashing attacks. Looks like they were all kind of slit.
Does it seem like I don't want to pull more than the medicine check gave me? Does it seem like they put up a fight, or was it sort of like?
Oh yeah, it definitely looks
they're
like
done?
it looked like they were
Okay.
fighting for sure. They're definitely
Okay.
kind of like struggle marks, and it does look like, there's footfall kind of on the ground that looks like there were attackers that were engaging with them, not just coming in and killing them. They do have weapons that are kind of lingering there. That you can see that the guy inside of the kind of training area on the right there, the for bow fire, he's got a bow that's kind of left with him, and he's got a nice big gash across his chest. But there are no bodies of the attackers.
Any kind of tracks that might indicate which way they came into the place?
Survival or investigation, depending on what you choose. Depends on what you get.
Oh. Brooklyn, you might want to take over on this.
Mine are all the zeros.
So with the 13, you would definitely notice that there was drag marks. It looks like whoever was kind of present here, there were some bodies out here that were dragged off. Whether those were people who were present on the scene, or individuals who were in the assailing army that were felled and then taken away. You're not certain.
Do I get an idea which direction?
South, out the gate.
Thank you.
One entrance to this place.
There's two entrances. There's the entrance where the river is, which also has kind of a door that's been broken out. It looks like it's the main way that horses would enter in to the main courtyard, but the stables are kind of like right on the outside too. So if anything was being taken out or transported in, it was probably brought in through the water gate. This creek is not massively deep or anything. It's nothing too terrible to walk through. Just the blood that makes it bad. Those of you who entered the long hall, you'll see that the room looks like it's an absolute horror show of conflict, but there are no bodies at all in here.
Is there any indications in here of who might have done the attacking?
Nope. There are some weapons that look like they are very Osirian in nature. There's like an arming sword laying out in one spot. There are definitely larger kind of gash marks. So whatever was swinging with a wide implement, presumably great weapon in size. So possibly axes or swords of a larger variety.
So all slashing. There don't appear to be a lot of piercing marks.
All slashing. There's definitely a lot of well, actually, if you're inside of the room, you can make one of the three checks, and depending on what you choose, depends on what you get. Investigation, perception, or survival.
I could
Party
do perception.
investigation.
I will do perception. Or survival. Which one are you good at, Mirage?
I'm better at perception.
Okay, I do survival.
Well, we'll go ahead and cover Zadok real quick, Mr. Mishrael. You would basically have like a CSI like moment as you're like investigating the scene. You can see that there are splatter marks on the wall that designate kind of like a very harsh kind of hit to the vital regions, causing blood to spray outwards. Large kind of sweeping swings where blood's basically being streaked off of a blade that's freshly wounded someone, lifted up and kind of causing a cascade, like a spattering of blood to smash against the ceiling, the walls. The thing that you notice most with that investigation check is it looks like there was a very strong defense right around middle ground for the table, and it seems that they were protecting someone on the northern side of the table, closer to the hearth.
And all of the flashing marks, they appear to be about the same height across the room.
Yeah, there's like pretty decent chunks kind of cut into the table,
Yeah,
portions
okay.
of the table that have been kind of rented out. You know that the strength of the individuals would have to have been great because the table that you're looking at is pretty heavy oak. But yeah, it looks like that's true, and then it looks like they broke out from the main chamber
The
into the...
direction of the strikes, they're not all parallel. They can go in any direction.
Yeah, so it looks like they've been sweeping kind of like... It looks like they were attacking in the northern direction, like bust through the door and then smash through like tables. What I'm saying is it looks like whoever was in here at the time mounted a defense at the middle ground of the table, and it looks like they were trying to protect someone at the far side of the table from the...
The attacker had a full range of motion. It wasn't like a robot that had a blade at a fixed point and could only stand.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely wild, chaotic, like cuts into the table and like...
Got it. 21 perception.
21 perception. You would notice that it appears that they broke from the center line. You can see that the doors on the left and the right, kind of in the middle, north middle of the table, have been broken open very violently and suddenly. So, based on what... Brian, are you sharing your information?
Yeah.
Based on that description of it, Mirage, you would assume that whatever assailed here broke off from the fight as they were kind of pushing forward, with possibly overflow forces to break into the sides chambers of this tavern. Inn.
I share my thoughts as well.
And then I got a 14 on survival.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a lot of bodies were trafficked through here, over the table, out the doors. The flagstones outside, you notice, are kind of slightly kind of moved inside of their socketing in the earth, and have been kind of pushed back into place, as you presume people were being dragged and like lifting the stones up in the lake.
I want to look
Map.
under the table.
You go to the end of the table.
Yeah.
Okay. With the investigation check you find, you'll note that there is an arrow that's stuck right through the chair. It doesn't look like there was someone sitting in it when that arrow hit, but it does look like the arrowhead on the opposite side went through pure. Looking at the arrowhead, you would note that this arrow is different than all the other arrows that you've seen throughout. This appears to be a weapon left behind by the attackers. And it looks like it is a very well-made elvish bow, or arrow rather, with a mithril head, and it looks like it has a black tassel hanging from its feathered end.
Does that mean anything to me?
You're not a real elf, you're reincarnated into an elf, so you wouldn't know much about elvish traditions, other than what you've gleaned from Lamak knowledge, so make a history check, just straight. You would know that elves tassel their arrows in different colors for different meanings. You don't know exactly what black would mean, but a presumption would be bad.
Yeah. I'm going to try to... What's the chair back made out of? Wood?
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best to pull it out, doing the least amount of damage to the arrow.
Yep, you saved the arrow.
Stow it in my own quiver.
Okay. Grok, you're moving to the mantle?
Yeah.
Looks like there's still smoldering ashes inside the mantle. Like the fire has not been tended to, but it's definitely still kind of going.
Okay, I wanted to see if there's anything of interest in amongst the burning items.
Nope.
No? Okay.
And Mirage, checking out anything? Moving to the side rooms.
Yeah, I'll probably start checking out the rooms on the side here, seeing if I can find anything like in this bedroom first.
So you see that there were several people who were probably sleeping in beds when they were attacked, based on the gore that's kind of left behind. You can also see that there are streak marks where those bodies were presumably dragged out. You can see that each of these kind of has like a bedside table that doubles as kind of like a place to store things. You open them up, but you can tell that they've already been broken of their locks, and someone kind of forced them open and then slammed them shut. And that goes for all of them. If you'd like, you can go ahead and make an investigation check.
Looks like they were looking for something.
13.
Mainly to suss out that this place looks like it's been flipped. So someone came in here, killed the people in the beds, and then after all the killing was done, they rambled through here and were looking for something.
But they didn't take everything. They just kind of rifled
Something
through. So, like, are there
specific, yeah.
still valuables left in some of the...
It looks like there aren't any like adventurers packs or explorers packs or anything. It looks like those have all been taken.
Okay. So there's nothing of value.
Yeah,
essentially,
it's mostly
left.
just like, you know, bed, sheets, cloth, material. There's like a ration that's half eaten, kind of on one of the bedside tables. That's it. And then you guys outside, Brooklyn, you go around the back side of the building.
Yeah.
You would notice that there's a campfire on the backside, which you would actually note is something that's present in Yorktown as well. It is a signal fire. It's supposed to signal to the potential watch and patrols that are out in the field that there's something going on and that assistance is needed. There might be a close enough establishment that would have been able to help if it were lit.
Doesn't seem like it even got a chance to be lit.
Doesn't look like anybody made it close. And as you're kind of moving that way, you would see that one of the stools from inside looks like it's made its way outside somehow, presumably thrown through a window and kind of out that way. And you make your way to this kind of back shrine, which you would note is kind of built into a tree. The shrine in question, as you kind of approach it, you would note is a shrine to the goddess of nature for the Elvish pantheon, Kashea Thea. And it looks like it's been kind of left untouched, but the door was blasted open.
guess I'll look around in here. So like nobody messed within this area then.
It looks like there's some things that have been kind of knocked over, but it doesn't look like the shrine itself has been kind of like damaged or there was any fighting that happened in here.
We're gonna keep an eye open for like secret passages or subterranean
Sure.
like hiding places.
Sure. Perfectly acceptable. So far as to say, none of the places you've gone would have denoted any. Grok, if you make your way through the bed chambers, the private rooms, you would note that they are filled with, blood marks, torn over, kind of flipped over sheets, ramshackled kind of areas. The master bedroom here in this suite, this massive kind of bed in this suite, looks like there were probably 2 people that were present in the bed when they were killed, and they were dragged out. Looks like, through the door.
Anything on this table, these papers, or no?
No, not really. You look at the paper, it looks like it's just a menu
Okay.
from the kitchens. Riot, you make your way into a strange room. Looks like a small little library. Doesn't look like the books have really been messed with. There is a map. The map looks very, very foreign to you. It's written in the Osirian language. There are a couple of maps that are rolled up nearby. This room also looks like it's mainly untouched.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna the other ones over.
Okay. If you'd like to make a history check to kind of decipher what the maps might be, you can.
28.
Really good. So the map, as it's shown, is actually upside down. If you were wanting to look at it, you'd be looking at it from the north side down. This appears to be the peninsula of Liberus, which is the citrine throne, one of the 3 thrones of one of the 3 thrones of Osiria as a whole. The map looks like it's just road maps. There's no markers or indicators or anything that's just been drawn out. The other 3 maps, you'd see that they are the other 3 capitals, one for each of the other kingdoms. There's Munio, and there is Ludos.
Got it. Is there anything under the table in here?
Not really. You can make an investigation check for the room, and Grok, you can make an investigation check for your room.
18.
Yeah, nothing special. And you even take the time to kind of go to like the lay pillow, like where people would kind of just sit in like lounging pillow, and kind of cut it up to check inside of it. You spend some time doing some searching that nobody seems to have done. When you go over to the scrolls and books that are on the wall, you would see that they're all just pretty standard fare, regional documentation, pretty boring stuff.
17.
Nothing particular. The menu, and track marks as I described. Brooklyn moving around the outside, you would note that there is kind of like, looks like they were growing stuff outside, probably food for the feeding of the people in there. And Shambles, looks like you're moving towards that other chamber there.
Yeah, I'm just sort of
Okay.
pacing around the
Yeah, if you
exterior.
kind of enter into that building, you would note that this appears to be like the guard station. Looks like they have a lot of notes and information regarding kind of guard placements. Looks like they had a roster of 10 individuals who were on site working as patrolmen for the BP Baggage. There doesn't appear to be anything in kind of the margins or anything that you're kind of looking at through their entries that really stands out. Besides several 6 days ago, or a couple 6 days ago, a black dragon was sighted north of here, flying in the sky.
No indication of, concern about neighboring forces, things like that.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, the main thing that kind of stands out for you is that it matches up.
They
with,
saw a black dragon.
They saw the black dragon that you've heard about.
Okay. The place got tore up, fellas. What was the name of this place again? I'm sorry.
Beefy Bahir.
Beefy Bay here.
And a Behir, for those of you who are trained in Arcana, is a drake-like creature with lots and lots of little legs, and it shoots lightning out of its face.
I guess I'm gonna take flight and see if I can't get an idea of what direction the tracks eventually go. I know they go south out of the wall, but if they lead in a more distant area,
So yeah,
just to have an idea.
yeah, perfectly fine. Yeah, you'd go outside and kind of get an idea of like kind of where you're at. I'm gonna go ahead and throw up a map, the region map, and based on your location, it looks like they dragged them out and around the back side of the building and into the kind of foresty, kind of swamp area between the rest stop and what you would know is the road, the King's Road that heads up towards Moody's. So they're somewhere, if anywhere, kind of in this environ. And the in-between land there is known as...
Is it like a forested area?
Yeah, it's forest and marsh-like land. It's very boggy.
Oh, this is kind of close to the dragon territory. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, just south of it. It's kind of boggy. So I just accidentally deleted the name of it. I'm going to have to type it out real quick, but it is known as the Black Fens.
Alright, I would head back towards the rest of the group. I know they're sort of wandering around the house. I'd let them know. It looks like somebody was dragged in that direction. Whether or not they're still alive, it could have been several days ago that this happened.
You mentioned about the dragon.
Well, we've heard about the dragon. Yeah, I'll let you know that they saw the dragon here as well, but
Right. That's it.
everywhere we've talked to has seen the black dragon in this region.
Timing corresponds with the notes from Benish as well.
Yeah.
As we do regroup, pointing out the arrow, it would seem as though at least one elf of some sort was involved in this attack, but the flashing marks were probably made by something much bigger.
Yeah, I would say some elves were involved because there was an elvish shrine in the back, and it was like completely untouched. The rest of this place looks ransacked. That was be suspicious.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention one thing. It's not terribly important. It's more for flavor. But the long hall, the ceiling is painted. It also looks like it's unblemished and untouched. But you're looking at a Behir that runs the length. Its tail starting at the door and its head ending at the fire mantle, or at the mantle. And you would notice that its front two limbs are kind of my cat's in the way, so I can't demonstrate physically. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Gotcha. We could see the edge of your green screen.
No, I know. My cat knocked my camera aside because he's being a little booty and he wants attention. Pet me, cat. Pet me. I need pets. And I can't do it.
So the front two claws of the Behir.
The front two claws of the Behir are like muscle man.
Beefy arms.
Oh, because he's beefy. I get it.
The beefy Behir.
Trogdor.
That's clever.
Yeah, if you'd like to make a history check to kind of discern what the heck that's about, you can. But it's just dorky lore.
22.
Wow, yeah, filled with the knowledge of Lamac, you would know that a long time ago there was a mage named Delarian Atele who was a summoner and changer of others, a transmuter, and he would oftentimes in combat transform himself into a Behir so that he would be stronger in combat. And he would call it turning into the beefy Behir. And he started a tavern after and wrote a lot of books, mainly one that's pretty well known, The Curse of Tuvesh Nernon, because he traveled with a group of individuals who were cursed by old elvish blood.
I turned myself in a bend to tell that story.
Out of character, he was played by Dieter, and it was a great character.
I'm doing my disguise kit. All these guys think I'm Benson right now.
He can't be that short.
Get on my knees.
He gets down on his knees and puts his shoes under his knees.
Yeah, that works.
It's a great gag. Everyone loves it.
That's all a boring story. You gotta
Would you like some tea?
Yeah. It's just cups of blood that I scooped up off the floor. Who's
Mind if I do?
hilarious? So, yeah.
Yeah, whoever it was dragged people, I don't know if they're alive or not, into those woods down there.
Based on the amount of blood, you're pretty sure no.
How many people on average would
people
be?
alive.
What's that?
How many people on average would be? So there are 10 guards. The employees are all outside.
So, at maximum capacity, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if you were being, cordial, I'd say you could probably double up a couple of those. So, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22-ish people, guests wise.
5 bloody beds in the common room, and a bloody bed in the master.
3 bloody beds in the side rooms. Yeah.
Anyway, whoever
any-
did this went to those woods to the east.
Well, I'm trying to decide how many people were here and got killed versus how much blood and stuff is dragged across the ground, because they may have only collected their own when they left.
So we know that to the east is where they drag the bodies, or some bodies?
They dragged bodies. Bodies were dragged that direction,
Yeah, I think we should go that way.
toward the Black Bends. Yeah.
Does Ryan let us
Late.
know about
It's
the whole
late. We should probably
protection
go to
thing?
bed and do this thing in the morning.
Sorry, there was 2 people talking at the same time. What did you ask, Brent?
I was just saying, does Ryan let us know about how they were like trying to set up a defense to protect somebody halfway through, or does he keep that to himself?
No, that was all common knowledge. We discussed it as we were
Okay.
in the building.
All right, I just want to make sure that we're clear of that.
Okay. You would note that the guard towers, they go up about 30 feet. And inside of the base of those, they have bunk beds. Looks like 2 in each, for a total of capacity to let 8 people sleep. 4 people sleep. I can't do math good. In each of the towers, that's probably where the guards were staying, and probably some of the people who live here.
10 total guards on duty, or 10 total guards?
12 total beds in the guard towers.
Shambles had the schedule.
The
Right.
ledger had 10 guards.
10 guards.
They happen to have a surplus of beds, or some of the staff slept in those beds as well.
Correct. Based on number of staff, it looks like there are a total of at least 4 and 1 guard still on site with bodies. The guard was the one with a bow. Looks like 2 servers around the bridge, a stable boy, and a woman who you would note, based on every kind of documentation you can find, was Melissa Oakhart. She's a half-elf corpse right now, who was apparently the proprietor, the owner of the BP Bay here.
Is this a subclass?
Corpse, yeah. It's a subclass of not being alive.
Drag these back to the soul well, see if they get possessed.
I'm not up for that again.
See if we can get another one of
Soon.
the orbs and find out what creature was.
Speaking of, I still have a possessed corpse in my bag. If you want to try to soul punch that thing out of there, maybe you could save it, or save the body for yourself.
I don't know how to do it. I could try.
If you take the time to pull the body out, it's already long since dead.
I'll just chuck this in the river with the other ones.
I mean, we could keep the body. It might still be useful. That one's the envoy.
Well, you can still switch into it, but you still have to switch one of your other two.
I don't get the respawn.
Right. Your current respawn is the standard shambles. Yeah, it would have been funny had you actually lent into the tether, because I would have killed all 3 of your extras, and you would have just been shunted into your OG body.
2 small holes.
But yeah, you're staying here.
I mean, yeah, the beds are here.
Okay.
It's late. Where else are we going to sleep?
Not friendly, but
Okay.
Do we get a sense of how long ago this happened?
Within a week.
Yeah, within a 6 day.
Okay, so basically it's not worthwhile going now because
I mean, you can do another
Yeah, if you want to do a medicine check on the bodies outside, you can.
Seems like it's been a little while.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna. I'm sure I'll try.
Okay, investigate the drag mark.
At least, at most 3 days.
At most 3 days. Okay.
Well, the head start.
Yeah, it's a heck of a head start.
Let's go pick some vegetables for those of you that eat food.
Oh yeah, dude, those cabbages are massive.
And then let's pick a guard tower and shut ourselves in for the night.
Okay.
If you guys want to do that fun thing, I can play here in Community with the Dead. Benson's not here for me to stab this time.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on him.
It'll cost a day.
It'll cost a full day.
Yeah, it takes me a day's worth of sitting.
Huh.
Okay.
That's up to you guys. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't have anything
an
pressing.
8 hour span, so you could do it during the long resty time, I would say. And that's fine. So you're staying here for the night. Okay. So give me 3 d20 rolls.
Which guard tower do you guys want to use?
Zach.
I'll vote top right.
I'll go southeast. Keep an eye out towards the.
Yeah, we should all sleep in one.
Oh,
I'm voting for the top right one.
Grok gets top bunk.
Fine.
It like sags down
Two
almost to the bottom bunk.
of us don't need bunks, and one of the people here is an echo. I don't know if they'll sleep or not.
be funny. If
I
it
like
did.
to lie down, the echo says.
Yeah, man, yeah. To you.
We get this guy.
4 beds, and we need 4 beds.
So the bottom or top right corner is the one you're planning on?
Sure.
Okay. So what are the watch cycles again?
Are there watch cycles?
Yeah, you should have a total of 3. I don't care if it's one
Oh,
person
wait,
being
yeah, 'cause,
awake for the whole time. That's fine, but
Shambles has watched, right? Just watched it.
Shambles and I can do the standard from the top of the tower.
I thought you were doing the commune with dead, or are we not doing that?
you can't do watches while you're commuting.
Can I do the elf trance while I do it?
You can do the elf trance, but you can't commune with the dead. You commune with dead is going to be your entire attention.
Okay, well, no, because, yeah, we have to get the long rest in too somewhere. So we need at least 12 hours.
Can't
here.
bump your camera again.
You keep doing it. He's that
Man.
boy. He said, "Give me pets. I want them. I want to be pet."
I'll
guys
take
on board?
first watch.
Are you guys on board for a 12 hours today?
Get the bread.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, we love sleeping in bloody sheets.
I will put all of my possessions into my bag of holding and hand it to Shambles. That way I cannot stab anyone.
Okay. So who is awake on first watch?
Cables.
Okay. During the first watch, it's dark out. You would note that a couple of sources of light appear to activate inside of the building. When you kind of go and investigate that, after mentioning it to the group, you would note that there appears to be magical systems in place to kind of activate the lights at a specific hour. And even the candelabras that are kind of knocked to the ground still kind of ignite with this arcane light. You can kind of cover them up, that's fine, no problem. But it does seem like there is kind of magic that ignites them. The other thing you'll note is the watchtower's torches at the very top, those all ignite automatically.
Huh.
Those ones are harder to cover, because that appears to be real fire.
Anybody that knows the person knows that they're probably like that. You should just leave it.
Yeah, I didn't intend to cover them. The ones that are inside and knocked aside, I might set upright so they don't. Would they ignite other things?
No. The only ones that are real fire are the ones on the outside.
No, I
Everything
don't
else-
have a problem with those.
Yeah.
Leave them there.
Everything else seems to be ever burning, but activated. Okay. During the first watch, you kind of meander, checking on things, keeping an eye out. Nothing crazy happens. Pretty calm and uneventful. Who's awake during the second watch?
I can read.
Okay. All right. Moving around, checking the area, you would notice that it's pretty dead. It's not exactly anything happening. Pretty quiet. And uneventful. And then who's awake during the third watch?
I could do that.
Okay. Grok, you're having a pretty similar circumstance, keeping an eye out from the watchtower. As Raya's kind of communing with the dead and kind of getting close to breakthroughs, which is going to be discussed throughout the beginning of next session. You can kind of get a vibe that there seems to be some sort of lock with him at current. And you kind of keep your distance. Usually he's never resting, but it does seem that he's very focused and intent. But at least he's not plunging his sword into your chest.
That's nice.
Because I gave it to Shample.
You, keeping an eye out, would notice what appears to be a number of torches moving out of the fens on your west or eastern side, heading towards this location. At the distance that they're at current, you cannot make out anything about them, other than there are torches.
How many torches?
6.
I would quickly shake Raya awake.
And
then
they're broken up enough. It looks like there might be more than 6 people.
Okay. And then I would scramble down.
I'm out.
Is it possible to wake him up during this? I don't know.
So, perfect placement. You would shake Raya, and that I think is a good point for that to be left. Shambles, I would assume, is awake. Probably took downtime in the middle era. Do you wake up anybody in particular?
Are you talking to Grok?
I'm talking to Shambles. You're already doing your thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll wake up Mirage.
Okay. Perfect. And yeah, Brooklyn's still slightly drowsy. You all kind of mustering inside of the tower, waking each other up. You can see Grok is shaking to no effect. Raya, and Raya, in your kind of dream state, you've been sitting with the last, sitting for the last half an hour or so inside of the BP Bahir, and you were sitting at the chair to the left side of the head of the table. And sitting across from you is the half-elvish maid, Melissa. And this is your spectral state. You're not actually sitting over there.
Right.
But she's sitting there with you, across the way from you. And you kind of get this vibe like you've been talking for a while, but you haven't really been saying anything. But now it seems to be kind of picking up into a meaningful dialogue. And she says, yes, it would seem that they just came in all of a sudden. The tall, giant, green-skinned ones and the very strange-looking elves. Just slashing and killing. It was all so sudden. And you, without even asking, kind of get a vibe for how long ago this was, and based on how she's kind of reacting to it, this happened yesterday.
Oh shit.
Like, it's nighttime, like and you've crossed over the median of nighttime. It was literally during the day that you were traveling to here.
Hours before we got here. Wow, we are shit at survival things, guys.
I will allow you to ask 5 questions, which I will answer from her perspective. The other ghosts are not knowledgeable and are also afraid of you.
Should
Well,
On our survival checks, you gotta work on that demeanor.
Hold on.
Do that skin thing.
That should tell you something specifically. They are afraid of you.
No.
Correct.
Do I come up with 5 questions in the next 4 minutes, or do you want to do a side chat?
If you want to do them in side chat, you can do them in side chat. If you've got any off the head that you want to just pop off before we get into, slipping off the screen here, you can definitely throw those out. I'm just trying to burn 3 minutes, man.
I mean, better identifiers for the big green one, for sure.
Uh-huh. She says they were tall, like Goliaths, or like half-giants. They bore massive black blades. Their hands and their eyes were sunken, shriveled, dark. Like they were rotting
lines up pretty well with coming out of the bogs.
Why elves, though?
They were led by an elf. I don't remember much about him. Other than, well, I rushed out once the fighting started, and he yelled something in Elvish, and you could kind of feel her memory kind of like passing into your head, and you can hear the Elvish, but it's kind of like through a prism of I don't understand the language. But you start to kind of funnel in, and it sounds like a decree in Elvish to get someone. Like they came here for somebody.
Well, the question two: did she see who was taken or who was the primary target?
You can funnel through the memories, and you would know that she doesn't know that. She does know who was here. And nobody really checked to see if there was any logs for who was staying here at the time. But you do have an understanding of who was here. It seems there was a group of adventurers, 5 of them, staying in the common room. It does sound like there were 3 Comus Palatines bodyguards that were traveling along with an individual whose name immediately pops in your head as recognized. An individual named Galagos.
Uh-oh.
Good.
Roderick.
Not Roderick. Whose name I'm looking for right now.
That was something with a K.
It was Eric.
Eric with
K.
a K. That's it.
That's it. So I think that's a good cutting off point. At the beginning of next session, you'll have the answers to the other 4 questions. I think you've asked 1 so far. Who are they coming? Who are they coming after?
3 more.
Okay, 3 more. That's fair. More than fair. And that will be happening kind of at the very beginning. They will not be breaking you out of your reverie. I will allow you to break your reverie if you want to sacrifice 2 questions. You can decide that between now and then. All right. Thanks for watching. See you next time.